admit one, but beware, for there be monsters in there. Bundy.
We serial killers. We're everywhere.
Gacy.
Do you have any idea how long it would take the guards to get here if you scream?
Dahmer.
I'm a pervert and a killer.
The Zodiac.
This is the Zodiac speaking.
They're all here, inside the True Crime Movie Club. And now, for our feature presentation.
Hi babe, it's me. I decided that I'm gonna make some videos as I move into the new house. Okay, I'm gonna show you the house. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Ta-da!
They want to go to Amityville, get spooky ghosts.
This is finished. Let's get our packs and go.
A melody is like a ghost that sneaks around from post to post.
Go straight to that house and don't stop.
Help! Somebody help me! Help!
All right, welcome to another episode of True Crime Movie Club, where we watch the worst in true crime cinema so you don't have to. I'm one of your many hosts. I'm Jesse. Tonight, we've got Dan.
Hey, everybody.
We've got Chef Bagels.
I hope you people appreciate me for watching this garbage.
And we've got Agent Jeff, all the way from the On Hiatus Conspiracy Geeks.
I don't fucking know. All I know is that after watching this film, I don't even want to talk to anybody for a week.
The suicided Conspiracy Geeks.
I am the Conspiracy Geeks. It's very likely Conspiracy Geeks has gone the way of Jeffrey Epstein. Let's dive into this fucking piece of shit movie that you made us watch.
Yeah, okay, so just getting this out there. We came up with the idea of doing an Amityville film because there are like 19 sequels at this point, and most of them are available for free.
Sequel is so generous.
Amityville and film are generous when you're talking about this too. So
yeah, and it's all because of a lawsuit that happened where it was eventually decided in court that you could not copyright the name Amityville because it's a real town. So people figured out, as long as I don't put horror after Amityville, I don't have to pay for the rights, which is why we have all of these movies now streaming for free on Tubi. We were originally going to do one of those because we figured, it's free and everyone's got Tubi, so yeah, this will be a breeze.
We were going to originally watch movies that may have some substance, but what we decided to do instead was to put ourselves through ritual Sabuku torture.
Yeah.
I feel I was waterboarded by this film.
As do I.
I tried watching 2 of the Amityville movies that are on Tubi for free. They were fucking unwatchable. And then I saw the trailer for today's installment, which is now showing 2016's Amityville No Escape. And the reason that I picked it was I watched the trailer and I was like, okay, they found an actual house with the actual cat's eye windows, and there's a found footage element in this. And they actually used a camcorder and digitized the footage instead of just using a shitty iPhone filter. Wow, it looks like they may have cared about the production values in this. And boy, was I wrong.
Yeah. I mean, what they did in this filming was literally offensive. Bollywood is offended. That's how fucking bad it was.
That's a thing, too. It's we paid for this one.
No, I'm still paying for it. I'm still paying for it. Every time I walk through the house and my wife looks at me and she's like, You motherfucker. I'm still paying for it. Still paying for it.
We, like, the next day we're talking about it, and she was like, fuck you.
Yeah,
That movie was terrible.
I'm lucky because my wife hates horror movies.
Does she like anything? This is like the 18th time that Katie has been brought up on one of our projects, and it's always in the context of, my wife really doesn't like... Whatchamacallit. All right, let's get right into this.
Yeah.
Where do we start with this thing?
At the end.
Filmed on location in Waynesville, Ohio.
So
we will get to that.
It's authentic.
Amityville No Escape was directed by Henrique... How the fuck you say it? Henrique Couto.
This dude looks like Les Claypool fucked Gene Shalit.
So he's Vermin Supreme?
And Enrique, I mean this with every bit of my soul, that if I ever fucking see you, sir, I am going to fucking do to you what happened in the last 5 minutes of that movie.
Like, look at
how
this
dare
fucking asshole. He looks like John Lennon.
Yo, what happened to Henrique? He got zero dark 30'd.
Exactly. As well he should have. Fuck this guy.
And it was written by Ira Gansler, who you don't recognize from anything either, and we will get back to Ira in a few.
How could you have a nice solid Hebrew name like Ira and be such a bad writer?
I just want to go back real quick to Henrique and that picture that you posted up in that, we should make the cover of this. He fucking looks like the Love Guru from fucking that Mike Myers bullshit movie.
The Love Guru from The Love Guru?
Yeah, whatever. I don't remember the name of the shitty movie.
I can't think of the thing I just said.
Yeah.
No, you're not wrong. I get it.
No, I get it.
Before we scream right past it, I just want to put out that for those of you who are going to, not listen to our advice and watch this film.
No, watch it, please.
I want you to notice that there's two found footage. Is that right, Jesse? There's two found footage tapes in this film.
Yeah, it's a double found footage.
Yeah, the 97 one opens up with the female in it telling her significant other, husband, wife, whatever she is, or it is, how much she misses your deployed husband. Her deployed husband in 1997, 3 years before
Bosnia?
No. The war didn't start till fucking 2001. There was no deployments before that. So unless fucking this is 1897 and the Spanish-American War is starting back up again, there is no fucking deployment in 97. But I digress.
Persian Gulf.
No, what are you talking about? There were some top secret deployments.
What about Bosnia? Wasn't that around like 97, 98?
No, that was 99.
Kosovo, yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, let's not give excuses to fucking Ira's poor writing.
No. But and I looked that up when I was watching the movie because she was talking about it. And I was 97. I was like, who the fuck were we fighting at that point? So I looked that up, and it had me watching this movie. The only reason I wanted to watch this fucking thing to see where they fucked up again.
Oh, and they did.
Yeah, some sweet anachronisms. Go ahead, Jesse.
Let's go to the beginning. This needs to be said right now. From the very first frame, this is 100% a Blair Witch Project ripoff.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got one better for you. This movie is if you've taken Paranormal Activity, mixed it with Blair Witch Project, and then dumped it into a steaming pile of shit.
And had Trauma's brothers make it.
Yes.
Lloyd Kaufman just jerks off on it.
Not enough toxic waste.
Trauma films were more tasteful than this one, and I'm no fucking prude, but I mean, let me put it to you this way. Dan watched it before I did, and I texted him and I said, hey, are you watching this movie? And he replies, tits 2 minutes in. And not just tits, it is full frontal.
It is full frontal.
Full frontal.
And I have to say this, as gentlemen, as newly minted documentarians, we must say this. No actual documentarian would have included a bush shot of a person who is ostensibly missing or dead. That's the implication. It's a found footage film, so you know whoever you're watching, they are probably not of this realm anymore.
Yeah.
I want to go one step further and say that there are four, if I remember correctly, 4 female characters in this movie, and within the first 4 minutes of the movie, half of them have been topless.
Mm-hmm.
You see tits 3 separate times in the first 10 minutes of this movie, and they are in there for no other reason than the fact that they just wanted to put tits in this movie.
They do not advance the plot in any way.
And except establishing the fact that this Clark Peters looking motherfucker from King of the Hill as the camera guy is just a fucking creep. Simon.
Simon's
the
a creep,
motherfucker ever.
And George is douchey, and his sister's titties are out 5 feet away from him.
Dude, George looks like the guy from the Fire Festival.
No, and this needs to be said too before while we're on the subject of appearances, and I know this is low-hanging fruit, but my God, did this fucking movie set up a low-hanging fruit stand. I wouldn't buy fucking weed from these people. They look like the fucking lobby of a methadone clinic. I hate to be this way, but there is someone credited for makeup in this movie, and it's like, on what?
Hey, you know who that was?
It was the crazy vegan girl.
It was Crazy Vegan Girl, that's right.
Let's go chronologically here.
Might as well, the movie doesn't.
Yeah, right? Props for using an actual analog camcorder for the found footage scene. That's something that has not been done, I don't think, since Blair Witch. Yeah, since Homecoming, right? But this needs to be said on the subject of appearances again. That footage takes place in 1997, and the actress has 2016 Instagram eyebrows.
Right.
Yo, there is a fucking Lexmark printer scanner combo sitting behind her in a seat.
Yeah.
But I was trying to look that up and see whether they come out with that.
They didn't have those.
I'm like, did they have those?
Scanners weren't that
The first opening scene of her talking when she first walks in the Amityville house that she obviously didn't talk to a realtor about, as she's showing him around the house with the...
She bought... Hold on. Let's just go down the list real quick. She bought blindly without her husband who's deployed
to Mars,
obviously knowing about it.
I need to close this thought real quick for, in case there are like younger listeners out there that don't understand what I meant by Instagram eyebrows. Let me put it to you this way. No one was fucking rocking the Noel Gallagher special in 1997. Let alone a woman.
Is anyone else, I know we're going to go chronologically, but does anyone else have a massive problem with the fact that they went back and forth from the footage of the people in the woods to this found footage of the woman in the house? And there was, although I know there's supposed to be some aspect of mystery to who this woman is and what's going on with her, but literally it was so fucking weird and so... It jumped back and forth from him so often. It was
and it does that the whole movie. But we keep getting ahead of ourselves here. Let's keep going chronologically.
Yeah.
As Dan said before, this film was not shot in Amityville, which is on the on the southern shore of Long Island. Okay. This film looks like my first thought when they showed the yard was, I was like, they shot this in fucking Georgia. And then I Googled it and it was like, oh no, they shot this an hour south of Dayton. They're in like Van Beber territory.
Yeah. No, as soon as I saw this, I was like, yep, that's Southern Ohio.
Yeah. And they're like, the whole plot is that's set up here is it's on this big ass tract of fucking woodland. And the characters that we later on meet, they all, we're going to go camp in the woods behind the house. The backyard of 112 Ocean Avenue is the fucking Long Island Sound.
There was more woods in this fucking movie than there is on the entire fucking island of Long Island.
Yeah, it's just like, no, they're camping in the fucking pool.
Did you guys know that Amityville is the most haunted town in America? Because that's what it was billed as.
Yeah, because there's not other places like, Salem.
Well, that's what George said, and George doesn't lie.
She apparently bought this house without ever fucking looking at it, because she gets there, the house is trashed. There was a cool callback, though. When she's going upstairs, she sees all the dead flies on the windowsill. That was a cool callback to the original movie.
I did notice that. I was like, okay.
The children's room with the double beds, nice little touch there.
Mm-hmm.
Which she sleeps in the rest of the fucking film, by the way.
Yeah. However, this movie, like, this house is the size of a small ranch. Like, if you cut a ranch in half and stack the...
Dude, it's a fucking double wide.
It's tiny. That house was expensive. It was a borderline 1920s mansion. And it's just like, this looks like Like, if they shot, like, The Walking Dead there, it would just be like, ooh, couldn't they have sprung for the fucking budget? Like, it's that cheap looking. Cheap and southern looking.
It is somebody's fucking house that their mom lives in. And they're like, Ma, let us, like, just film for a little bit. Like, fuck off over to, like, a cousin's house or something like that. This was the filmmaker's house.
Maybe. I would posit this, because these filmmakers are kind of, like, if you look at their IMDb pages, they all, it's always the same cast and always, like, the same director and shit, and they're trying to be like a trauma thing. They pump out 1 to 2 low-budget movies and shorts a year, and you could tell just by the first half hour of this movie, the only reason this movie happened was because they found this house. And we're like, oh shit, it has Amityville windows. We should make an Amityville movie.
And then have nothing to fucking do with it.
That's not even like a joke. I think that's accurate.
Yeah.
There's no... I mean, it's the only thing it has to do with Amityville is the fact that the fucking word Amityville is in the title.
That's it.
That's it.
Do they ever actually say they're going to Amityville?
They do, because you got creepy redhead girl who says she has like that moment. Here's another thing. Great plot point. She has a moment where she's got a problem with them going to Amityville in the car, but then much like the writer does with everything else in this film, you never come back around to an arc where they explain why she has a problem with it. I mean, there's so many holes and unresolved issues in this film that are issues I don't even give a fuck about.
It seems like he springs a lot of these things on these people. Like, when she's in the car, he's like, yeah, we're going to Amityville. And she's like, you mean New York? We're driving to New York right now?
Whose fucking friend is she? Like, at one point it's mentioned she's someone's friend and no one else knows her, but everyone in that camp, like, doesn't seem to know her. And she doesn't seem to know anyone else. It's like, what the fuck is she doing here?
I think she was like Simon's friend or something like that, neckbeard.
Yeah, it's just like, and you can tell Simon is totally like, whoa, this guy's just like Michael from Blair Witch. You know, this guy will be great. But no, okay, before we progress further, to give like the best explanation of the plot up to this point, it's a found footage movie. The 1997 portion of the tapes is just referred to in the movie as the Amityville tape. So it's like, okay, someone moved into this house. It's this lady, like we said, she's making video, like vlogs
for her
basically.
deployed husband.
For her deployed husband in a fictional war. He's just partying with his boys 20 miles away. He's just like, I fucking told her I got deployment. But
This dumb bitch, I also left her $50 so she can rent a fucking house that she's never seen before.
This is the only 18 months of peacetime this country's had in 200 years. No, but, and so the other portion of the film is modern day, which would be 2016, and it's these college students who are trying to make a documentary, you know, and the dude is
on fear.
Yeah, his thesis on the meaning of fear, and I cannot make this any more subtle. The dude, George, the main character of this film, is just Heather from the Blair Witch Project with nuts.
The Blair Witch Heather was a little bit deeper of a character. At least she had some purpose. This fucking dude, his only purpose is to fucking get pissed off when he's making out with his girlfriend while his sister's topless in the pool with him.
Yeah, he has daddy issues in the movie, and which is like, I don't know, daddy issues
unresolved.
But hold on a second. When he talks about them, I know we're skipping ahead, but when he talks about his daddy issues and what his problem is, I'm like, that's not fucking daddy issues. Daddy issues is like, daddy used to put it, you know, his hands places, or he used to beat the shit out of me, or fucking like, you know, push me out into the snow when I was a kid.
Emotional abuse is a thing.
I don't think emotional abuse by being, you know, disappointed if your son doesn't go to college. The
emotional abuse in this film is me having to watch it. That was the emotional abuse in this fucking film.
Mike, no, you're implying that these are deep characters.
He doesn't even get that far into it, by the way.
You're right.
He's like, my dad was just like, you know, one day I want you to be able to have a job and be able to afford to feed your children. And he just goes, but then what if I didn't want that? And it's like, you don't want to have a job? You don't want to feed your kids? Like, I can understand not wanting to go to college, but buddy, you got to pay the rent.
My dad wanted me to be happy and productive member of society, but what if I want to be a giant piece of shit?
My dad wanted me to feed my kids. Well, the ones that lived at least, but anyway.
Exactly.
Now, again, not prudes, but at the 10-minute mark, we have seen random tits twice so far, used as filler in a 78-minute movie.
3 separate tits.
And never get a payoff on seeing any more tits again. I mean, so it's not like gratuitous. It's literally like they just threw it in there.
It's gotta have tits. It's a slasher film, guy. It's gotta have tits.
It's like they gave up on backstory. It was just like, okay, you're the leader. You want to make this film. You've got daddy issues. And then the rest of you take your shirts off. I don't know. Do something.
No, Simon, put your shirt back on, neckbeard.
That sounds about right.
I think that's probably as close to accurate as you can get.
That should be on the Wikipedia page.
They got Simon, the weird stoner cameraman. They've got,
he looks like Clark Peters from Hank of the Hill.
Yeah,
King of the Hill.
Hank of the Hill.
Shut up, Bobby.
Dallas Salad.
But no, okay, so you got him. You've got George, who looks like a fucking. He's got like tattoos, and he's got the I just walked into a wall, gelled up fucking 90s hair.
You have the 97 wife who is alone and apparently fucking stupid.
And then you've got, okay, what the I don't even remember fucking George's girlfriend's name. She's just there to hang over him and be submissive. Sarah's there to be pretty. His sister's there to be, the Lucy Brown sister, the tough, shut up, little brother, daddy issues shit. And then there's the crazy alternative chick who's a vegan and believes in, spirits and shit. So it's like, with all of these things in mind, they have somehow managed to pack everything annoying about the first 2 Blair Witch movies into the first 15 minutes. You would get that joke if you saw Blair Witch 2 Book of Shadows, but no one saw Blair Witch 2 Book of Shadows.
I saw it in Blockbuster on the wall, but I never.
Yeah, that's where everyone saw it. Now, going back to Lena, the wife in the 1997 footage, which is so hyped up in the beginning of the movie, it's just like, I finally got it. The Amityville tape from 1997. And then they never mention it again.
Yeah.
We keep cutting back to it every 5 minutes, but the main characters making this documentary in 2016 never mention this tape again. And it's probably because nothing fucking happens on it. But anyway, she says at one point, she's just like, oh, so the neighbors told me the history of the house. And it's just like, it's 1997. You don't know who the Lutzes or the DeFeos were. And by this point, she's been in the house for like a week. So buys the implication is she buys the Amityville horror house sight unseen. Without knowing what the Amityville murders were. Or the subsequent...
Well, this house is really cheap. Like, why not?
Yeah, or the subsequent horror, the murders nor the horror. And then finally, a week later, she's told, but she can't describe what happened in the house because it's copyright protected. So, with that in mind, we get our first paranormal occurrence 16 minutes in to a 1 hour and 18-minute movie. 20% of the movie before we get any sort of paranormal occurrence. And it was so bland, I don't remember what it was. Was it one of the 5 million cups that were moved, or there's a shadow that walks past the lens?
it was the shadow in the Paranormal Activity recreate scene of her leaving the camera on overnight, and the shadow cuts in front of the camera light.
Which that's exactly what every normal person would do. I'm going to film myself sleeping.
Yeah, because she said someone said you should just keep the camera on, but it's just, I don't fucking remember anything of it, because it's just, I mean, reading the IMDb trivia, it says all of the scenes with Lena were shot in a single Sunday, and it's like,
no shit.
Yeah, they were shot in a friggin' single hour.
There was no second take for any of that.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the aerobic scenes?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, what the fuck was the point of half of the things that they showed in that?
None, and it seems like every time she was doing aerobics, someone showed up with a delivery, but they never show the delivery driver.
Well, no, they do in the first one.
The first one, but after that.
That guy nailed his lines, by the way. Oh, I never thought I'd be delivering a package here.
I got a package for you, honey. I mean, it's a porno. The guy, it's literally a friggin' dick away from being a pornography film.
And not in the cool Friday the 13th Part 5 way either.
No, no, like in the I'm on meth and I need to pay for my next meth. I'll do a friggin' bang bus film. It's that kind of.
I mean,
fucked up.
Maybe. I mean, because. And I know this is going to sound weird, but if there is any positive to this movie is it is lit well and it's shot well and it's edited well. But that's about that's it.
Yeah, technically it's fine.
Yeah, technically it's technically a lot better. That let me put it to you this way: one of the original Amityville candidates for this episode we were going to do was shot on a fucking iPhone 7, and I'm not joking.
Probably had better writing though.
They sell that fucking piece of shit at Walmart for $9. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So yeah, now they're in the woods behind the Amityville house, which don't exist. As we said, the woods behind the Amityville house are the fucking ocean, hence Ocean Avenue.
Real quick, why did he have to ask for the address?
Wait, who?
When he's at the game swap.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can we say
game swap? He had to ask for the address.
I missed that. I tuned out during the game store scene because just like everyone else in this movie, horrible fucking pube facial hair, and I was just like, I just couldn't stare at it.
Yeah, no, he asks him where the address is, and the fucking game shop employee goes, "It's gonna cost you."
Yeah.
They don't have Google. That was another thing. This is in 2016. Cell phones do not exist in this movie.
They do in one scene. It's just the one scene where it doesn't work.
Where they're all talking about oh yeah, my phone's dead. However,
Yeah,
they're keeping the camera equipment nice and charged.
Oh yeah. The camera's got plenty of power. They've got plenty of, clean clothing after 4 days in the woods. However, their phones all fucking die or run out of service.
Speaking from a limited amount of personal experience working with you guys on the dock, fucking all those lights and shit. Yeah, they would have had about an hour's worth of power, and then they'd be like, all right, everybody stop, we gotta charge again. Change batteries. Where was their big backpack full of fucking batteries?
Yeah.
At one point, we almost had to shoot an interview on our fucking iPhones because of the fucking lights and the camera batteries constantly going out every 40 fucking minutes. The cameras will burn out. That's the big, the problem with found footage that they have not understood in the modern era is the Blair Witch Project, the foundation for all great found footage horror films, and I'm just saying that to piss off all you fucking Cannibal Holocaust nerds, but
Cannibal Holocaust was a good one.
Yeah, I'm just saying, anytime you bring up the fact that Blair Witch kicked off the found footage media, they're like, Cannibal Holocaust was 20 years earlier. It's like, yeah, no one fucking saw it till the 90s.
I mean, it was first, though.
It was the first, but no one fucking saw it.
That makes it the hipster.
Exactly. But these guys are just like, yeah, I don't believe in paranormal activity. I think it's just a lot of people telling stories.
That was actually better than how they said it.
Yeah, right?
You should be hired by that guy.
So, when they get in the woods, they hear this noise in the middle of the night because it's a fucking found footage horror movie. And instead of being greeted by a ghost, it's this fucking, on the south shore of Long Island, a redneck with a shotgun, complete with fucking overalls and flannel.
And the worst in and out southern accent I've ever fucking heard.
Absolute dog shit.
Number one thing that gets me about this fucking one part about the movie, try walking around with a gun in New York anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
And your ass is going to be on the ground with a taser.
But he does this whole thing where he's like, my daughter went missing 4 days ago and I don't know where she is. And oh wait, hold on, I'm sorry. I'm supposed to have a southern accent there, bud, so I'll just sneak. And literally how I just did it, where I drifted out of a southern accent and then right back into it, he fucking does every scene that he's in. It's fucking distracting.
And you would think, oh, this must be someone's, friend or little brother. Nope, it's the writer of the fucking film. It's Ira, dude.
That's Ira?
Of the film.
Oh, I fucking hate him even worse now.
Wrote this fucking movie.
And I just want to point it out for anybody who is who's into guns or anything. These people don't know how to fucking handle firearms. It's
terrible trigger discipline.
Yeah, no way. There's problems with that. And then later on in the movie where, what's his name has
where dude just pulls out a
gun and he's just like, hey, by the way, I've had this fucking pistol this whole time.
Yeah, I've had this the whole time.
Never told you any. But he's also holding it like a child would hold a fucking cup.
Yeah, like he's never held a gun before.
Like open palms on the handle of the gun and on the slide at the same time. And he's pointing it at people. And he's like, I'm going to keep you safe. No, you aren't. Take your hands off that fucking gun.
So
here's what I love. Is that Bagels is giving a lecture on muzzle awareness, trigger discipline, and literally I can't say a fucking thing because the one guy here who has literally dealt my entire adult life with weapons. I agree with everything you say. Everything you say, sir. You are a fucking genius. Thank you.
100%. 100%.
100%.
So we're at about the 30-minute point in this film, and we're treated
And
to
I already
our...
wanted to blow my brains out.
We're already treated... It took me 2 nights to get to this point.
I had to watch it in one sitting.
You sorry bastard.
So we
I watched it twice because fuck you. That's why
we're treated to our next instance of paranormal activity, and it's literally just what the fuck is the dude's name? Simon. Simon's like, I'm gonna go take a shit. And then I'm gonna put it in your fucking movie because no one likes Simon and Simon doesn't like them either. So he fucking walks off and sees this fucking apparition of a ghost child, and all he does is just go, shit!
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest, that's exactly what I would say.
And you think, but it isn't like shock. It's like he says it like he drops his, oh shit! Not again.
So it's not what he says, it's how he says.
Yeah.
Oh man, another creepy kid in the woods.
But
Shit.
listen, that's this entire movie is so, just the acting is so fucking terrible. And I get it for found footage. For found footage movies.
Shit! I'm not supposed to be within 500 yards of a child. It's said like that. And you would think that this would be the end of old Simon, because it cuts away real quick. No! Like, not 5 minutes later, he's just back like nothing happened, trying to instigate a threesome.
I mean, yeah.
I need to fuck this vision away.
But much like everything else in this movie, there's no fucking payoff. Simon doesn't die right there. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, at least they could have let us get a little bit of satisfaction out of this movie by just killing everyone right away. Like, just massive amounts of blood and gore and death. But no, fucking Simon fucking goes on to not only be within fucking less than 50 meters of a child, which we all know he's not supposed to be, but to also go on to later on be that creepy motherfucker in the tent who's doing the whole, well, I'm putting it out there if you guys want to, and you're like, come on. While in the background, you've got fucking George date raping his fucking girlfriend in the tent next door.
Yeah. And you'd think,
just slaying.
And by the way, you would think, okay, it's an ensemble cast in a found footage movie, and they're all annoying, insufferable sons of bitches. Horror rules dictate that if you're going to do that, it's for the sole purpose of picking them off one by one every 5 to 10 minutes. You make them annoying so you're not too depressed or too shocked when they die, and you put a lot of them there so you've got a high kill count, right? No
Ira fucks us again.
No one fucking dies in this movie for like another half hour, but we'll get to that later. But okay, so there, after the failed threesome, fucking George gives his fucking daddy issues speech, which who gives a fuck, and they find the fucking house. He takes his girlfriend Sarah.
Yeah,
Sarah. So he takes Sarah to the Amityville horror house. And it looks exactly the way that it did in the 1997 footage, despite being abandoned for 20 years. Like
in the woods, like it's hidden. Like they find the house like it's fucking hidden in the woods somewhere.
Yeah, the lawn is fucking mowed. Like the fucking the outside has been fucking swept.
It is. Yeah, it's a lived-in home.
Just to point out that when I'm not gonna spoil anything here. When they go in the house afterwards, you see fucking garbage bags and shit like put away, and it's neat. It's not like there's no dust anywhere.
There's no dust. There's no overgrowth. There's no water damage. Yep. There's no graffiti.
There's no dead bugs.
And it's not pristine. And like if they really wanted to be interesting about it, they could have done like the Blair Witch time warp thing, where they find it and the house looks exactly like it did decades ago. But it's just the cold hard fact that okay, they shot the fucking camcorder shit on Sunday, and then they shot this shit on Tuesday.
Yeah. This was filmed in a weekend.
Truth right there.
Yeah, it might have all been filmed on Sunday.
Despite seeing a fucking little ghost girl and getting threatened by a Long Island redneck with a shotgun, which I don't think exists. I think that's like a Sasquatch sighting right there.
There are rednecks in Long Island.
Where? In Manhasset?
No, they're all over the place, but they're there, but it's like few and far between.
So they decide to stay another night. By the way, they go to leave and they run into fucking Ira again, who's, oh, you're staying another night? And I was like, oh no, we're actually just leaving. And then he fucking
springs on a second day of camping for no reason.
Yeah, it's just like
it's like, hey, we're staying another night. Fucking deal with it.
Let's not forget he's carrying around his shotgun, as he says, because of all the wild animals. There's wild animals all over this place.
Yeah, on Ocean Avenue in Suffolk County, right down the street.
Suffolk County.
Right down the street from the fucking bar Chris Sakis is drinking at.
These wild animals are everywhere there, Bo.
Shout out to Chris.
And I got my shotgun.
Yeah, it's absolutely fucking, because these are dipshits from Ohio that made this movie. They're like, oh, well, yeah, there's probably rednecks there.
Yeah, there has to be rednecks there, yeah.
Yeah, we live an hour south of Dayton, everything's like this. But, okay, so despite a second encounter with a gun fucking toting maniac, they decide as they're walking out, like, no, we're staying another night. And so we're treated to another instance of paranormal activity, which is just a ghost sound in the distance that sounds like a fart.
Yeah, it was like a slowed down cow moo.
No, I'm gonna get to that later.
And, here's my big fuck you moment with this movie, where I actually said fuck you to the TV. They go and show another fucking cut footage scene to 97, except this time they don't show the actual date in the bottom of the corner of the film. So I mean,
that was going in and out.
Yeah, the continuity thing with the 97 chick, this is where it really fucking irks the fuck out of me. If you're gonna have the date shown in the bottom corner of her specific footage, it's got to be there every time. And when they stopped showing it at certain points, they would show it at other points, and that's when I was like, I want to strangle Jesse for making me watch this fucking movie.
Sorry. Yeah. But so next, a body is found.
They find the woodsman dead.
Yeah, they don't show him long enough. It's just like there's a body. It's like a quick flash, and it's like, oh well, I guess that's the redneck.
Well, they had him in fucking his hillbilly clothing.
They showed the sister going back to check the body.
Yeah, but you don't see his face or anything.
You just see flannel.
No, but
flannel.
Yeah, just the flannel.
It's flannel. It's got to be the woodman.
Yeah, they don't really establish that it's him or not. They're just like, there's a body. That's probably the woodsman.
Well, didn't it have a shotgun next to it or something?
It did have a shotgun next to it. Yes.
Yeah, so that would be the implication.
So it is now, and I am not exaggerating or being facetious here. It is literally 15 minutes prior to this movie ending. It is 1 hour and 3 minutes into this movie.
We're almost there, people. Almost.
The entire group is still alive at this point. So, as I said, the whole point of having a large group of annoying, sex-crazed people in a horror movie is to pick them off one by one. That trope is totally missed here. So, then they realize, as they panic and they flee the body, and they're trying to hike out of the woods, which is just the backyard of a house.
This is when they try to use their phones for the first time, and they realize that some of their phones are dead, and George's phone is not getting any service.
Yeah, and they're like, we've been hiking, all night in a circle. So there they go, ripping off Blair Witch again.
They've said they've walked directly north for an hour and a half from Amityville, New York.
Horseshit!
If you walk an hour and a half north at just a steady pace, you would eventually hit a fucking airport and Adventureland.
Or the ocean.
You would be in the Bronx, man.
Mind you, if you're walking, you're gonna hit a street at any moment.
Yeah, and at this point, you start having the redhead hippy-dippy chick starts losing control of fucking reality. Like, she's hearing the little girl's voice. I mean, this is out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. The little girl who hasn't been mentioned in 48 minutes.
Right.
She's been subsisting solely on clover.
She's a vegan eating clover. They are so mean to this vegan girl.
We all knew someone like that.
She's like a little bit overweight, and they're like, she's eating clover. Chew your cud, cow.
Well, they're asking her, remember they ask her what she's afraid of, and she says, people. Yeah. I'm afraid of people.
That's so deep.
And there's there's this whole friggin' liberal ass friggin' tree
Weird
hugging
ass
bullshit.
eco-fascist.
Yeah,
We live in a society.
I mean, I wanted her to die at that point, and then literally she starts losing her mind. Fucking George is trying to get everyone to believe that he knows how to fucking navigate. We've been going in a straight line. No, you fucking asshole.
And
You've
then
been
like
walking.
Simon wanders off and gets the first death of the group 13 minutes before the film ends. Simon is somehow killed off screen in a found footage documentary where the editors supposedly have access to all of the footage.
Exactly. Yeah. So he dies off screen. They somehow get his camera back, and now George and the redheaded chick both have the camera.
Yeah, like what is the implication there? Like, we could show what killed him, but have it off screen in this documentary because it's deep.
Also, leave the body, take the camera.
They are so fucking calm about a friend dying.
Oh my god, he's dead. Oh no.
Well, it was Simon. Who cares?
Well, yeah, no, you're not wrong.
I was hoping that they would get another moment of him going, shit.
Yeah.
Right before he's
But
dead.
no. And here's another thing. The ghost / creature, whatever noise that follows
It's a
immediately
cow.
after. Yeah, it is clearly
It's
just a cow.
Moo. Slow
And it's
down.
like, what is it a ghost from the Great Cow Harbor?
It's the Cow Harbor Day cow.
If you listen closely, the cow says "mrrr."
Shit. And so yeah, the cell phones don't work, so he does some of the worst acting into a fucking walkie-talkie I've ever heard, just so they could have creepy noises.
He had a radio this whole time.
Yeah.
That's not all he had. Remember, Dan? Remember what he's got stuffed in his back pocket? It's not all he had this whole
Just
time.
whips out a gun.
Yeah, not quite then. At this point, you have the redhead chick completely fucking lose her mind. She's gonna go get the little girl. So he leaves his sister and his girlfriend to go chase after the fucking chick they've been treating like shit the whole movie because she takes the camera. That's why he goes after her.
We
She
can't
takes
let her
the
get away
camera.
with the camera. Then all this trip will be worthless.
They left Simon dead because they needed that camera. She runs off with the camera. He's like, "You are not fucking leaving with my dead best friend's camera." Not
Say,
doing it.
he still got payments on that.
Yeah, and then I got that from Reddit Center. No, but
The fucking voice she used, like, you wanna have fun? It's like, that was the scariest part of the whole time, the whole film.
So then it cuts back to the 1997 footage, and something finally fucking happens, but it's off camera. The ghost literally walks into the room and turns the camera away. Just like,
she screams and screams and screams, and you're thinking, oh, the horror that's happening to her. And then you see her run by the camera with nothing wrong with her. She just screams.
that was a pretty chill struggle.
yeah, no, it's like, but the ghost turns the camera like, you don't want to see no part of this shit. And then
You don't want no part of this, Dewey?
yeah, and then
He literally turns into friggin' Mysterio from the latest friggin' Spider-Man movie. You don't want any of this, and he turns the camera away.
Well,
and then I think like the only reason they did that, not to be like, let's let the imagination do the work. It's like, oh shit, the way that this fucking hallway's lined up, we're gonna have to have the camera turned at some point so we can see her fall to her death down the stairs, which does not sound like a body falling at all. It sounds like what it is, her running very quick down the stairs, and then she just freezes, and the camera sits there in silence. It's like, oh, I guess she fell and snapped her neck, which apparently is a big problem in horror movie universe.
That's the thing. I didn't even get that that's what happened. I thought she just ran down the stairs.
No, it's just, I was like, oh, they're going with that fucking trope.
she died instantly upon.
Yeah, I know they show later that she fell down the stairs, but when she turned the corner and went, I saw nothing there that indicated to me as a viewer that she had fallen down the stairs. It looked like she just ran down the
They
stairs.
should have put some cartoon sound effects of like hands being like knocked over and like tin things hitting the ground and glasses breaking.
You know what it sounded like? It sounded like Eddie Murphy telling the Goonie Goo Goo story in Delirious. Like, oh Lord, Jesus, please help me, please, Jesus. Oh, I'm halfway down now.
and so now
Lillian!
Then they cut back to showing redheaded girl beat to death in the woods.
Yeah.
First time you see blood in the movie.
At some point, her camera's knocked out of her hand off screen, because the next time we see her, the camera's already on the ground, and then her body just lands next to it, and a bunch of fucking Smucker's strawberry falls out of her mouth, and it's...
That's right.
So here's the deal. I feel like, I mean, the standard substitute for fake blood was Hershey's chocolate syrup for the longest time when it was in black and white.
Or Caro syrup.
Caro syrup and
with
whatnot,
with
a little bit
food
of red
coloring.
food coloring in it.
Mhm.
There's a lot of things that they could have used that were...
You know what Van Beber's secret is with that? You do the Caro syrup with the red food coloring, but he says you put a little pancake syrup in there too to give it a little bit of that richness, and it tastes better.
And it tastes better.
That's right.
Well, yeah, if you gotta have that shit sitting in your mouth for 2 hours while you do take after take, it might as well taste good. You ever taste straight Caro syrup? Ugh. And food coloring is bitter as shit.
But anyway, something I just want to point out that on all these shots, they always hold on close-ups and whatnot, like, way too long.
Yeah.
But the beauty of it in this is because they're such shit actors, they can't sit there with their fucking eyes going in one direction. You can see their eyes fucking moving with their clothes. It's like, oh no, yeah, she's dead. Wait, why is her eye twitching?
Because she's trying not to blink. I really want to get to it, because this is, and I'm being very honest when I say this, the next scene is the only scene in the movie that I think has any merit.
What, where Elizabeth's body gets dumped next to the vegan? Did we get to did we get to that yet?
No, we didn't. So I'm sorry, go to that, because I'm talking about in the garage of the house. But go to Elizabeth's body.
Yeah, no, so like, yeah, and then it's just like, well, Elizabeth runs off, the George's sister, the Tom girl, whatever you would say.
Tomboy.
Yeah, and it's just like, you don't even see her get killed. And again, this is a found footage movie. The implication is they have all the footage. It's just, oh, her body's laying next to the hippy dippy chicken. Oh, something's dragging her body away, dragging it there. It's just moving.
Well, she drops
it's being
her,
drugged.
so I'm assuming she's dragging her to there.
Oh, she dropped her? Yeah.
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 Who gives
what I
a
got from it,
shit?
too.
This movie's so fucking dumb.
But they do give us the good, like I said, the one semi payoff scene when the girlfriend now, Sarah, runs to the house. And she goes in the house. She finds the same.
Well, because George tells her
get to the house
to go to the Amityville horror house and wait for me because it's not safe out here. Because much like the writer and the director, he has apparently never seen a single horror movie.
Well, when she gets there and he comes in and he's whispering to her, I need your help. I'm going to do something. I mean, yes, just like Dan said earlier, this fucking guy pulls a gun out that he's had the whole fucking time.
Didn't tell anyone. Didn't tell any of these people that he had a gun.
I literally have a pistol in my hand, in my pet, because I'm so mad at my father. And when I just about the time I think he's gonna shoot her with it, which I really did, he fucking blows his brains out. And I'm sorry, as for all the bad parts of this movie, this is the one where I'm like, all right, that was well done. I thought that was well done.
I immediately was like, fuck yeah, R. Bud Dwyer. Fuck yeah.
It was one of the more realistic gunshot suicides I've seen in an independent movie. But yeah, just like
it was pretty well done, actually.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was. I want to give them credit, the filmmakers and the actor and the. It was even though you knew something bad was going to happen with that gun, I didn't think he was going to kill himself. And when he did it, it was very well filmed. It was very well acted out, and it was believable.
Yeah.
I thought he blew his fucking brains out.
See, I thought he was going to kill her and then himself.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Because just like The Room, this ends with the main character shooting himself in the mouth because the writer ran out of cheap, spooky shit to do.
I'm so tired of this world.
But then we get to that final scene, which, Jesse, I'll let you have the glory of this, because I'm fucking confused all day long as to what happens in the very end.
Real quick, I want to go back real quick before we finish this out.
Okay.
If they were so lost for an hour and a half, just going in circles, where the fuck did that hot and ready pizza from Little Caesars come from?
That was from the beginning. That was that was when they first got to the woods.
No, it happens after that.
Did it really?
Yeah, she went out and got it, because that's like the only thing that is realistic about this. It's like, yeah, because the Amityville horror house is just on a suburban street.
But if they're lost in the woods, and how did she know where to get to the house from when he's like, get to the house? They're lost in the fucking woods.
Get to the Little Caesars. They have a phone.
Nah, man, Little Caesars closes at 9. Little Caesars has a bedtime. They're little.
Then you see the body of the 97 chick on the floor. And Jesse, please explain to me what you gathered from this, because I have no fucking idea what happened.
The only reason
she fell down some stairs.
The only reason I understand what happens at the end of this movie is because for the last 27 and a half seconds of this movie, it switches gears from being a Blair Witch Project ripoff to a Shining ripoff. We cut back to the 1997 footage. The ghost that was haunting Lena the whole time was Lisa's ghost from the future, who in a major continuity error, by the way, is missing her lip piercing.
Huh.
Wow.
She still has her nose ring, but her lip piercing is gone. So I guess they're like, when you get to the other side, they're like, get that fucking Hot Topic shit out of your mouth. We've got some haunting to do. But
well, also that, but where was the DeLorean that shit and fucking Doc Brown? Because how the fuck does a ghost from the future come haunt you in the past?
She's a fucking vampire.
It's just like The Shining. Jack
Right.
Torrance freezes to death on the grounds of the Overlook in 1980, and he is transported back to, what was it, 1927?
I always thought that image in the picture was just that he was now stuck in the hotel with all those other spirits, and there was like a photo of the spirits caught in there. But no, I get what you're saying.
Well, yeah, because once he dies there and they get a hold of his soul, I guess, he's always been there. Like, they transport him back into the past, so he's always been a part of it. I don't know. It's some strange...
Lloyd is the best bartender ever.
I'm kind of irritated that we're actually comparing this movie to The Shining in any manner.
Well, because it's very obvious, and this is how I knew right away that they were ripping off The Shining, because in one final horror movie ripoff, the credits roll, and it's 1930s big band music playing, just like the end of The Shining. But here's the thing. This is now a common horror trope, but people forget why that's creepy. Like, it's not creepy just because it's old-timey music. The reason why that Midnight, the Stars, and You playing at the end of The Shining is creepy is because it's a callback to the Overlook ballroom scene.
Right.
It reminds you, oh yeah, remember that weird, like, time displacement / ghost haunting, in the bar scene earlier? They've always been like that. It's a callback to a tangible thing in the movie, not, oh, this record is spooky because it's old. Put it in there.
Right. I guess we'll find out in the sequel that's coming out next year.
Yeah. Wait. Are you serious? Oh,
yeah,
Dr. Sleep?
Serious. They're making
Oh no, I thought you were talking about a sequel to No Escape.
No.
Yeah, no, I want to see Dr. Sleep.
There's no fucking sequel to No Escape.
No.
So can we rate this fucking piece of shit?
Real quick before we do, one last point.
This is the worst movie I've ever seen.
The ghost.
And I've seen Ishtar.
Hold on. The ghost monster girl from the front cover of this movie does not appear in this movie once.
But she is inside the trailer.
She's in the trailer. She's on the cover of the fucking film. She makes no appearance in the movie whatsoever.
They had to cut her for time. They wanted to keep the best acting inside, so they needed to cut they really didn't want to rely on special effects. They wanted to rely on the writing and the acting. And I think they hit their mark.
So, all right, everyone, it's time for our True Crime Movie Club patented rating system. 1 through 5 Sparkies. So, Dan, how many Sparkies was this movie to you?
This was the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. I've seen some crap.
I have seen some shit.
But just on the whole, with the writing and the storyline, none of it made sense. None of it was cohesive. This was, and I get it. This was a cheap movie, and it was just low budget, whatever, and they just make it so it happens, but this fucking sucked.
Dear Christ.
0 fucking wait, are 5 Sparkies terrible, or because
no, 5 is the best, 0 is the worst.
Yeah, no, negative 4,000, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Bagels, how many Sparkies?
Fuck this movie.
Yeah, I feel like this everyone involved with this project should be prosecuted for war crimes.
They should be whipped. They should be fucking flogged in public and not allowed to own property.
Yeah, this is. I mean, they are. This is the epitome of bad filmmaking. This is the reason why
it was lazy. It was lazy fucking filmmaking.
Listen, I can deal with bad filmmaking when there's like, oh, there's good intent and you can see where the guy was trying to do it. But this was just like, let's just waste an hour and a half of everybody else's time and not even give a shit.
Yeah, like we somehow found a movie that was worse than Bundy and the Green River Killer.
And it was fucking awful. I would rather watch only the Shaq movies for the rest of my life than ever to have to watch this piece of garbage ever again.
Absolutely horrible movie.
Like, you could put Steel on repeat for me, and that's the only thing I could ever watch again.
I could never make a free throw. Jeff, how many Sparkies?
Yes. Well, I'm going to go the route of Bagels and say that I think this may have been the worst dumpster fire I've ever seen in my fucking life. I'm going to give it -10 Sparkies. But if I have to say it, yeah, it's like literally like a number. It's not just negative, but it's so bad that I don't want to watch other movies. Not even. I mean, I think I may not want to watch movies for like a week.
Not even
good
Into the
movies.
Spider-Verse.
Not even good movies.
Do not get me wrong. I'm super stoked that they went out, they created something, and they got it out there.
I'm not.
But like in that spirit of creation and getting your movie out and having your whatever vision, like good on them. They achieved it.
No, don't encourage this, Dan.
Why did any of this happen?
No, Dan, that's like saying that at least Hitler had a vision.
Yeah.
It's fucking bullshit. It doesn't matter. It's terrible nonetheless. At least, you could have a vision, but it doesn't mean it's good. All right, Jesse, go right ahead. Tell us what you think of this fucking piece of shit.
Listen, all things considered, I understand that fucking Amityville No Escape made Dear Mr. Gacy look like Driving Miss Daisy. But
oh man, that thing should have won an Oscar.
Looked like fucking Seventh Seal.
Right? Well, there was no Bill Forsyth to fucking save us in this fucking dreck. But I will say this, I think I'm going to give it 1.5 Sparkies only because it was shot and edited well. Like, if this was shot on, like, a jiggly fucking iPhone or something like that, it would have... the problem is this movie could have been worse. Of course it could have been better. It's on True Crime Movie Club. But if it was shot bad and edited bad and the sound was horrible, it would have been really, really fucking painful. So I'll give them 1.5 Sparkies for knowing how to film the thing, for actually using an analog camcorder for the analog scenes, and for actually doing a decent job editing it and mixing the sound properly. I'll give them that. But other than that...
All she did and all of those analog scenes and all those like home videotapes for her deployed husband is talk about how much she's gonna fuck him when he gets back.
In the meanwhile, the only people that got fucked were the viewers. So.
Like, that was such a common theme. Like, this was written by a dude this guy fucking sucks.
I want to know what happened to that. They never say what happens to the husband.
He's deployed.
There should have been some postscript.
Who cares?
I mean, honestly, I'm going to tell you what the one thing that I was thinking that was going to happen when the reveal came.
The one flaw of this movie.
No. I thought George was going to be the husband.
No,
that's what I thought.
I thought that that when they were going to reveal the ghost in the found footage, that it was going to be the fucking husband was there hiding the whole time. That it wasn't a ghost.
Oh, that would have been fucking brilliant.
Hide and seek world champion.
It would have been like, what was that fucking movie where the creepy dude's hiding in the family's attic the whole time?
The Goonies?
No!
No, I know what you're talking about.
What the fuck was that called?
No, it wasn't
the Creeper or the Crawler?
Creeper, I think.
The creepy crawler.
The creepy crawlers.
Goofy Goober.
So, do we know what we're doing for next episode? Or
Next
are we just going to close out?
What?
I don't know how much longer I can put up with these movies.
Tough shit. Tough shit.